YouTube, Shuki here with a review of the Voltron Legendary Defender Wave 2 figures. Now, I never reviewed Wave 1 of these basic action figures by Playmates Toys. There was two variations of Voltron, one with a sword action and one with like a lion head blasting action. I decided not to get those just because they didn't look too great, and the rest of the figures were a Robeast, which I didn't care a whole lot about, and the 5 individual lions, which I was purchasing the legendary versions of, so I didn't feel like I really needed to get the basic action figure versions. But Wave 2 gives us a little bit better of a Voltron figure, I stressed a little bit better, as well as the start of the Paladins, which is what I was really interested in for this figure line. And I've had good luck with Playmates Toys through the TMNT series, which I've been collecting steadily until now, when I think it's pretty much done. But we'll see what happens in the future with that. But really excited for these, for sure. Unfortunately, Pidge and Hunk are not out yet from what I could tell. They will be in a wave with another Robeast and Zarkon later on. So this is the first 4 of the new 8, and then we'll get the other 8 later on. So a little bit of a bummer. I really would have liked to just finish all the Paladins in one go, but hey, it is what it is. So Wave 2 gives us Cannon Fire Voltron, so a new Voltron figure with this cannon attachment, Shiro, Keith, and Lance. So pretty cool. We'll go ahead and take a look at these one by one, see what they're all about. These are brand new. I just picked them up from my local Walmart, and they are about $9.97 a piece, give or take, depending on where you find them. So we'll go ahead and move the Paladins out of the way for now. Shiro, make sure you take your hand, buddy. Don't want that here. We'll take a look at Cannon Fire Voltron really quick. Now again, like at the beginning of the video, I used the term better very loosely for this, because this figure still isn't that great. The sword slashing one had like a slashing sort of waist turning gimmick, where his sword would go like up and down like that. And then the the firing one had a long stemmed green lion missile that you pushed and it fired out of the hand. And that one was okay, but it wasn't the greatest. His arm was kind of stuck in a position. But this one, however, does feature hip articulation on both hips, knee articulation on both sides. Unfortunately, no ankle articulation because it really needs it. But it does have full rotations on the shoulders, as well as both arms having elbow joints as well. Plus, they do rotate right here. They come packaged like that, and it looks kind of silly, so I like to rotate the lion heads around. But these rotate a little bit as well. Unfortunately, they don't splay outward or anything like that, so they're stuck in this kind of weird formation. It makes them look a little strange. Now, the action gimmick on here is actually just the cannon itself. It clips right into the shoulder area right here. So nothing too crazy. It's just a big yellow cannon, assumingly borrowed from the yellow lion. There's a button up top that will fire the missile. It's not terrible. Not particularly great either, but it's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. So there's that. And this can actually just be taken off completely, which is a little bit of a pain. And once you get it on, it was actually hard to get on. Now it's hard to get off. There we go. So that just comes straight off, and this does have an actual joint on it. But now you have a Voltron figure that is okay. Definitely could be a lot better. It would benefit from ankle joints, because as you can see, his knees are in kind of like this weird hunched position. And obviously some more robust shoulder joints would have been nice, but it's not terrible. If you're looking for a 5-inch scale Voltron figure for any reason, this is probably the best one yet, just because it's not hindered by any of those weird action gimmicks or anything like that. So if you're looking for one, this is probably the way to go. But again, it's still not that great. But the Paladins aren't bad. So here is Shiro. Now, each one includes their Bayard as well as a energy shield. The energy shield's kind of big and clunky and just kind of gets in the way. So I'm going to move the energy shield out of the way. Now, obviously, Shiro didn't get his Bayard until much, much later in the series. So he doesn't include the Bayard, but he does include this little energy hand accessory. So you just pop off his hand, and then you shove this one into the joint right there, and it doesn't really line up much at all. There you go, that's a little better. So you shove that one in the joint, now he's got the energy hand that can do all sorts of cool hacking and all that nonsense. So, pretty cool. You do have that option. I prefer my Shiro to have hands that match, so we will go ahead and do that. But each one also has a removable helmet. There is the head sculpt for Shiro. It's okay, I guess. These head sculpts aren't great. There's certain traits about them that capture the character. Like, I think they did a pretty decent job on his hair, but the model for the head isn't that great, and the scar is very, very, like, minute on there. It's really hard to see, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. I just figure I'll put the helmet on them and then kind of forget how odd their heads look. But articulation-wise, they're not that bad. There is no waist articulation or anything, but you do have a pin and swivel up on the shoulders, which doesn't work perfectly because of just the way that the Paladin armor is designed, but it is what it is. You do have a single elbow joint, a swivel at the wrist. Same thing on this arm, except for Shiro, he has an extra swivel at the arm here instead of... Oh, he's still got the one on the hand too, just because his arm comes off. Down here at the hips, you have a pin swivel right down there, which is actually quite robust. It can get a decent range of motion. Single joint at the knee, and nothing on the feet, which again is a little bit of a bummer, because some of these don't look perfect when you're standing them, and they get a little warped in the package as well, which is a little bit of a pain. But there is a swivel at the knee, like right below the knee. So that can help you out with some posing problems. But the only issue I've run into so far is, I don't think it's as prevalent on Shiro, but you can kind of see right here, there's a bunch of paint scuffs from where it rubs up against the like butt area, like right there. And that is a little bit of a pain. I've been having some scuff problems on the paint for these guys, and that's a little bit of a shame because I've only had them for 2 days. But it is kind of what it is, I guess. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do about it, and you can't see that in the package, so it's not like you can look for a nice one or anything like that. But here is Keith, again, going to move the energy shield out of the way. Here is his Bayard, designed after kind of like a horizontal sword, which is definitely really cool. And same articulation applies, so I'm not really going to go over all that again. But was it Keith? Yeah, it was Keith that had really bad scuffs. Like, really bad. And that was straight out of the package, too. So it was like the straight out of the box. And that was definitely surprising to me. Because, like I said, I've had really good luck with Playmates TMNT toys. So it's a little bit of a shame that these ones aren't turning out as well. But there is Keith's head sculpt. If I can get his helmet off. His helmet has apparently adhered to his head. Keith I wasn't too thrilled about. I don't think that captures Keith much at all. Now granted, the show has a bit of a more like anime sort of style to it, much like Avatar and stuff. So this isn't capturing it all that well, but at least I got the hair okay, I guess. And again, there's some paint scuff down there at the bottom of the hair. It's an issue for sure, and like I said, it's a shame because the figures themselves are okay for $9.97. Their height is okay; it's about a 4-inch scale figure, give or take, same size as their TMNT figures, and I don't have an issue with that or anything like that. And I don't even really have an issue with the like posability or anything like that, because I kind of know what I'm going into with Playmates action figures. But it just kind of sucks that these head sculpts are kind of like all over the place and just not that good. Again, they have their helmets, so you can put the helmet on and try to hide the pain. But it's a bit of a shame. Oh, Keith, you need your Bayard. Don't leave yet. And that will just plug into the hand right there. Grip is okay. I haven't had really too many issues. You're gonna run into more posing issues with Keith than anything because his Bayard's so big. Here we have Lance, the last of this wave. And pretty cool. I do like Lance, he's fun. Unfortunately, my 2 favorite Paladins aren't here. Pidge and Hunk, but hey. It is what it is. Again, same articulation. It's pretty much the same mold as the other ones. So nothing too wild or crazy there. But you do have his head sculpt right there, and oh boy, Lance's head. Now granted, he does have fairly big eyes in the show, so I guess they transferred that over, but boy, Lance, what did they do to you, buddy? Again, just not a huge fan of these head sculpts. They were not good at all. Unfortunately, is there some more paint scuffs back there? Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. There's some more paint scuffs back there, but oh well. Not a whole lot you can do. His legs are okay. He didn't seem to get a whole lot of scuffy scuffs from his butt plate. But go ahead and put that helmet back on. Try to hide your drug addiction there, Lance. But here is Lance's Bayard. Cool gun weapon. Very neat. Unfortunately, the handle is a little bit thick, so it's kind of difficult for him to grip it fully. He'll grab it, but if it was just a little bit smaller, his hands would have been able to grip that a little bit better. So he has tendencies of just kind of dropping it, just like that. Just like that. Thanks for the demonstration, Lance. Can always count on you. Now I can't get it back in its hand at all. Come on. Good enough. We're not going to touch it. We're just going to stand him right here. And there we go. So, while not the best, I do enjoy these for what they are. Like I said, I'm used to Playmates Toys quality, so I kind of knew they wouldn't be perfect, but at the same time, I am really disappointed at the head sculpts because their TMNT line was so good, in my opinion. So it's a little bit of a shame that this didn't get quite the attention I feel it deserved. They should have had character models and stuff to go off of a little bit better than what they did. If you're in the market for a 5-inch Voltron figure, this is the one to pick up because it's not hindered by any of those weird gimmicks or anything like that. Again, it's not that great, and I would love a small-scale posable figure of this Voltron, but unfortunately this is the best we got right now, unless you count the Metal Defender series, which I haven't picked up yet, but I'm looking forward to. And the Paladins, like I said, are really good. They'll look great on display. Again, put their helmets on, a lot of their kind of facial features get distorted, and a lot of the issues sort of go away. So a great little accessory to perhaps the legendary scale Voltron. You can have the Paladins like at its feet or something like that. So it could make for a pretty decent display. Again, their bodies aren't that bad. It's mostly just their head sculpts where I have a problem. But pretty cool figures for only $10. They're not too expensive, and they're pretty easy to obtain. So like I said, these are brand new. Keep on the hunt. Voltron stuff is getting kind of shuffled here and there. So if your stores are stuck on a lot of Wave 1, keep checking back. Hopefully they'll put out some of these guys. So that about does it for this review. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And of course, like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care, and have a great one. Bye.